March has been quite an epic month, if I'm honest. I've done quite a lot. I've been quite ill, but I've also felt really good about myself and felt quite like I'm in control again of like getting stuff done, exercising a lot again recently, and just feeling generally better about myself. Started the month off by staying in a really cool rock and roll chalet in Lincoln. We went up for a weekend. It was a complimentary stay. We stayed in like this really crazy chalet called the Rockstar, which was decorated with like Union Jacks, Britpop. It had its own hot tub, which I drank loads of Prosecco in, and it was brilliant. It was dog friendly. It was a fantastic time. And then we went next door to the castle and explored the castle. And I love history and stuff, so that was brilliant. It was pancake day. I went to my mum's and we flipped loads of pancakes, and I almost ruined her oven. I'm terrible at flipping pancakes. Mum, however, is brilliant at flipping pancakes. That was the night I started to feel unwell. I was really poorly for like a few days, like with some flu virus, and it put me on my ass. It put me out of it for a few days. It wasn't good. Well, actually, to be fair, I was ill for longer than a few days, but the worst of it was like a few days. I did manage to power through to go to this Body Shop event where I did a feminist panel, and there were some really cool girls on the panel, and it was just a really cool experience. But feeling ill kind of ruined it a bit for me there. Me and Mum went and did some icing. We went to a place called the Biscuiteers, and we did like a Mother's Day icing activity together, and we had afternoon tea. That was a really nice day out in London, hang out with my mum. That was really super nice. Our friends Andy and Grace came to visit us again with the dogs Kiki and Luna, and we went out for dinner. We went to a really cool bar, and then we did another massive hike from Wells to Clyde as I'm hiking the whole Norfolk coastline with my friends. That was great. It was so windy that day, but the dogs did really well. The views are really good. Lots of marshes this time. We saw a nice big windmill, and then we finished off again with some food and the post-hike pint. I got a cowboy boot tattoo done by Jodie Dauber on my shin. It hurt, but you know me, I love cowboy boot. Also went to see Hans Zimmer that night with Ellie and Chad and Mark, and it was incredible. I cried like a baby through The Lion King, and in fact I was just in awe the entire way through it. It was just beautiful. It's so crazy that one guy can write such emotive scores for movies that he's not even really seen. He can just invent this music that just takes the movie to a whole nother level. I just think the whole artistry of composing for film is crazy, and I really respect it, and it's great. I've been at home a lot this month as well. Like, I've had my little adventures, but most of the time in the week I've been at home, and I've quite liked that, kind of figuring out what sort of stuff that I want to make. I'm feeling a lot more comfortable in like the content that I'm making. I did a video this month that did really well, and that was the size 14 jeans video, and I feel like that is kind of the direction that I feel people are interested in, and the direction that I should kind of be going in, and that feels good because that's a video that I was really happy making, found really fun to make, felt completely myself, and it did so well. So I feel really like, I'm on a little bit of a cloud there. So I've got some other news which is kind of crazy, but Josie has moved out. I explained what happened in my daily vlog when she's moved out, but basically there is no hard feelings between us. There's no beef or shade or anything. It was more kind of like a financial thing. The fact that Mark moved in has got nothing to do with the fact she moved out, because I asked her a couple of months ago, you know, do you mind if Mark moves in? I don't want you to feel like you have to move out and weirded out by it because you live here. And she was like, no, it's fine. And I actually hadn't had any plans of, like, I didn't know exactly when Mark was going to move in. It was on the cards, basically. We're coming to nearly a year of being together, and I was like, you know what, I'm fed up of sleepovers. Do you want to fucking move in? We're adults, don't bother me, it's not a big deal. Once you've done it once or twice or 3 times in my case, it's not a big deal anymore. That was fine. And she was like, yeah, that's cool. I get on with Mark, it's cool, I don't mind at all. Anyway, so it's got nothing to do with that. So before anyone says I booted her out so he could move in, that's not the case at all. It was more of a case of, if I'm completely honest, at the time of her moving in, I only charged her a little bit of rent to live here because, well, she doesn't have a full-time contract. She's got a 0-hour contract, which kind of sucks, but she does work full-time hours. So I hate a zero-hour contracts are fucking dumb, and I feel for her all the time. So I only charged her a little bit. Just felt bad as a friend, like going, oh, I'm going to charge you all this money, live in the house. just felt awkward. After like a while, after a few, like, you know, of her living here, it dawned on me that like the bills were increasing, which I was obviously paying extra for. I was also paying for a lot of the communal stuff in the house, which adds up, like dishwasher tablets, washing tablets and all that sort of stuff, etc. And I thought to myself, well, when Mark moves in, like, to make it fair, why don't we just split it 3 ways? Because for me, I thought that was way more reasonable, asking her when he moved in to split it between us than just asking her for half of everything. Because I was just like, you know, cool, yeah, I'm paying a lot and there's 2 of us living here, Christ. I just thought it'd be more manageable if it was split between the 3 of us. And anyway, so it was a little bit of an increase, just a little bit. I know this year there's some stuff going down with her work that she's unsure of. So she was honest, she was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford that, mate. And I was like, oh, okay, shit, okay. Okay. She was like, it might be easier if I just move home, because then actually also I can start saving for my own place. That's what she said. Because we'd had this discussion before, like, it's always been in her head that she wasn't ever going to stay here forever, and she did want to get her own place. She wanted to buy her own place. So she wants to start thinking about that now. So it was kind of a timing thing. I just thought at the time, you know, if there's going to be 3 of us living here, it'd be easier than me, yeah, whatever. Primarily, it was like a financial thing. And she did also actually say, you know, maybe it's best that I give you guys a bit of space. And I was like, oh, okay. So I didn't necessarily expect her to move out. I didn't expect that to be her answer. But I was like, okay, that's fine. I am a bit sad about it because, you know, I didn't want her to feel like she wasn't welcome anymore. And I didn't want her to feel like I was trying to get her out, because that was the last thing I wanted. And a little bit of a cry, and reflecting on the year that we've had together, which has been good. Now I realise that it probably is a good move for our friendship, because I don't know whether to like actually touch upon this on a proper video, but living with your friend can be quite tense and hard at times, because you actually take for granted, because you live with each other, you actually take it for granted that you'll see each other all the time. So therefore you don't really make time to plan to do things with each other, like specially. So yeah, I feel like in a way it's worked for the best all around. In a way, she's only around the corner. We're already texting each other all the time now. We're already making plans to do things. Sometimes people's financial or life situations change, and you know, it changes, and they got to move on or do something else, and that's fine. Like, we've not fallen out. There's no animosity between us. There's nothing, you know. There's no shit. That is literally the 100% golden truth about the situation. So yeah, it's been a really nice time living together, and I'm gonna miss seeing her every day. But then again, I'm actually looking forward to seeing her properly. To me, it's a bit crazy how Josie moved out, Mark moved in like the same day, and there was no time to transition, no time to even think about it, no time on my own. No time to think about her not being there. He just moved straight in. It was a timing thing. It suited them, to be honest. It was like, they were like, oh, she wanted to move out on that day. He wanted to move in on that day. And I was like, okay. But it's a bit nuts. I feel like it's a bit of a whirlwind for me right now. So yeah, thank you much. You've been cool. April is going to be hectic and fun. Thank you for watching. I will do a current favourites video later on in the month on its own. I just thought I wanted to kind of just do a monthly recap and an update on its own first, and then I will do a favourites soon. See you later. Bye.